Hi everyone, I'm Claire Saffitz. Welcome to my home kitchen. Today I'm showing you a recipe that is perfect for Mother's Day. It's that classically fancy brunch dish called Eggs Benedict. Today I'm going to show you how to poach eggs, how to make a classic Hollandaise sauce. It's like a little bit of a process and there's a lot of technique, but none of it's that hard. And then you have this beautiful, elegant brunch dish, and I'm super excited to show you how to make it. Poaching eggs was one of the first things I ever made by myself when I was like learning how to cook. I think that I had been watching an episode of The French Chef and Julia Child did it and I was like, I can do that. And I went and I poached eggs. Hollandaise sauce is like a classic French sauce. It is a warm emulsion. So it is kind of like the warm version of mayonnaise, but it's made with butter and not oil. So it's like an emulsification of melted butter and egg yolks, and it gets like super moussey and frothy, and it's so delicious. It's just a little finicky. So we're gonna kind of go over the techniques for how you make a successful Hollandaise. And then we're gonna poach the eggs, put it all together. I have some English muffins. You could do like a round of brioche that's toasted. I have some asparagus for serving alongside because Hollandaise and asparagus is like such a delicious combination. And we're getting into spring, so it's a great Mother's Day dish. Ingredients. We have eggs. This is a very egg-focused dish. I'm using Vital Farms large eggs. We're using yolks for the Hollandaise and obviously whole poached eggs to put everything together. For serving, I have some English muffins, not homemade. If you want to see how to make homemade English muffins, you can check out this previous episode. I have some butter and also for the Hollandaise some cayenne and some lemon, salt and pepper for seasoning. For the poached eggs, I have some vinegar. Really, it's best to use like distilled white vinegar, but I think we ran out and we don't have any, so I'm gonna use rice. It's fine. Any like light colored vinegar. Some chives are on top, asparagus, some smoked salmon, and some Iberian ham. The really classic ham selection for Eggs Benedict is like a Canadian bacon. You can use any ham. And I'm using smoked salmon, which I just learned makes it something called Eggs Royale. Equipment. So for poaching the eggs and for making the Hollandaise, we're going to use small saucepans. I have two. And then one trick that I have for making poached eggs is to strain the egg. So I have a strainer behind me. That's really it. Nothing too fancy. Before I get into the recipe, I want to thank our friends at Vital Farms for sponsoring the episode. I keep chickens at home, but they don't always produce enough eggs for what we go through because we're eating them for breakfast. I'm baking with them, using them in recipe testing. So when I buy eggs from the store, I get Vital Farms. I know they're high quality because like the eggs from my chickens, the shells are hard, the yolks are vibrant. I know that they came from healthy hens, and that's super important to me. One really cool feature is they have this little newsletter in every carton called Vital Times. They have a bird of the month. Gemma is the bird of the month on this one. I love them because I know how important it is for chickens to run around and touch grass and be able to peck and move freely. And Vital Farms works with over 600 farms, all of which are committed to pasture raising their hens. And I know they're high quality because like my eggs for my chickens at home, the shells are hard, the yolks are super orange, and they perform beautifully in all of my baked goods. They have a really, really cool traceability feature where the name of the farm is printed on the side of the box. You can go scan the QR code, type in the name of your farm, and see a video feed of all the beautiful hens. It's so cool. So we got Dogwood Hollow. Oh my gosh, the hens, this really makes me happy because I know having chickens, I know they're meant to run around. Like, they're animals. They need space. And these hens, they look very happy, just pecking around. It's funny, when you have chickens, you're like, you can tell if they're happy or not. Vital Farms, in addition to eggs, also makes butter. It's a high butter fat, grass-fed butter, and I'm using it today in my Eggs Benedict. Special thanks to Vital Farms for sponsoring today's episode, and you can go to their blog in the link below for more eggs and butter recipe inspo. When you're making Eggs Benedict, if you're making it at home, the easier thing to make ahead are the poached eggs, not as much the Hollandaise, because the Hollandaise, in order for it to hold, needs to be kept warm at a very kind of specific temperature range. And so, but poached eggs can be made well in advance, a day in advance if you want, and you hold them in water and reheat them. So I'm going to start with the poached eggs. So here I have some water in a saucepan, and poaching is a method of cooking eggs where it's cooked gently in water, just under a simmer. You get ideally a set tender white and a kind of runny yolk. I don't love a yolk that's like like super liquid. I want it to be a little bit cooked so that it's more medium set rather than like fully runny. So what helps in poaching eggs is to add a little bit of vinegar to your water. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon. And it's best to use distilled white vinegar, but I don't have any, so I'm just using rice vinegar. The vinegar helps to set the white. So I think the number one mistake that people make when they're poaching an egg is that the white just like totally spreads out. It is actually best to use a fresh egg for poaching because the fresher the egg, the more the white holds together, and that's what you want for poaching. So I'm using Vital Farms large eggs. My trick for poaching eggs is to strain the egg. So even like a really fresh egg, you get little spindly white bits, part of the white that like forms this kind of like spider web around the poached egg. But if you strain it, you can kind of like remove that like watery part of the white so that you just have the part of the white that holds together. So I have a little water here for like removing the egg and as like a landing area. I learned in culinary school when we poached eggs that you actually need a pretty decent depth of water. You need an amount of water so that the egg can bob to the surface and not be touching the bottom. You don't really want it like sitting on the bottom of the pot. You want enough bubbles so that the bubbles actually help to push the egg toward the surface. So it's not like you want zero bubbling. We're gonna take an egg. So this is a really big egg. We're gonna crack it into the strainer. So see that the like liquidy parts of the white are falling through the strainer, but the part of the white that's like holding together is staying with the rest of the egg. So to poach, here's what we do. We're gonna make a vortex, meaning we're going to swirl the water around so that the center, all the water is kind of moving around a center point that's still. So I'm using a whisk. The vortex method means cooking one at a time. If you want to cook more than one at a time, the water is just still. The vortex helps to keep the egg all together in one so it doesn't just like spread out. So then the egg gets dropped right into the center. Then I have my little, you can use like a slotted spoon. I have like a little tiny skimmer here. Once the white starts to set, and you know because it immediately starts to turn opaque, is you can kind of help to like push the egg white so it's covering the yolk. But like I don't even think I really need to do that here because it's holding together nicely. What you can also do is if you get little bits of the egg white that come off, you can like skim them from the surface. And then ideally it sort of bobs to the surface and you can help to lift it off the bottom of the pan. I just want it cooked to the point where it's like, it might run a little bit, but it's thick. It's not just like total liquid, uncooked yolk. And usually that's at like the 2 to 3 minute mark, depending on your eggs, depending on if they're cold or they room temp. I think if they're cold, they hold together a little bit better. When I lift it up, you can see the yolk right there. I'm touching it. I feel like it could use a little bit more time. All right, almost done. So these are gonna go into a bowl of just cool water. So if you flip it over, so that's our poached egg. You could poach these in advance and they can stay in the water, I would say up to a day is fine. So I'm just gonna repeat that poaching process with 3 more eggs and I'll have 4 for serving. After your eggs have come out and they've cooled a little bit in the water, if they have lots of the little spindly, like spider webby parts, you can literally just take a pair of scissors and trim them and make them kind of nice and round. Then they're kind of like photo ready. If I were making these ahead of time by more than an hour, I would chill them, like cold water, even ice water into the fridge and they'll sit there. But we're gonna serve these pretty soon. So I'm just gonna leave them at room temp. So I'm gonna turn this off. These look great. I'm gonna just put these off to the side. And now we're gonna go right into making the Hollandaise. So for the Hollandaise, I'm gonna actually use this same saucepan. So I'm just going to wipe this one out. And I'm also gonna grab a second saucepan and my butter. Think of Hollandaise as, it is a hot emulsion. Think of it as like the hot butter version of mayo, which is a cold emulsion. It's like yolks and oil. This is yolks and melted butter, and it's warm. So I'm gonna start, my proportion is, it's about a yolk per 4 tablespoons of butter. So I'm gonna do 3 yolks and 12 tablespoons. So classically, the butter is clarified, and that means that it is separated from the water content and the milk solids, and it's just the pure butter fat. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gently melt this butter. I'm gonna put it on the stove behind me on low, and it's gonna really slowly melt. And what happens when you slowly melt butter like that without agitation is it naturally separates. You get like the water and milk solids at the bottom. Have you ever seen melted butter where it's like you have like a little milky, watery pool at the bottom. That's the water in the milk solids. So I'm gonna just kind of gently let this melt behind me while I get my yolks clarified, meaning like separated from the whites. And I'm gonna do the first step, which is called making your sabayon. So this is gonna go here. I'm gonna put it on low. Okay, so let me grab the melted butter, which I did not stir at all. So if you take a look at it, it has separated where like the clear or translucent yellow butter is on the top and the water's on the bottom. So we're just gonna like decant it, pour it off basically. So I'm just gonna pour off the yellow butter fat. And it's okay if some of like the milk solids piggyback. I'm not really worried about that. So you can see in the saucepan all that white stuff. So there's still a little bit of butter on top. So now here I have everything else that I am gonna put into the Hollandaise. So traditionally it's seasoned with like a little pinch of cayenne and lemon. I'm gonna add it at the end, but I am gonna get a little bit of the juice ready to go. So Hollandaise is one of the mother sauces, sort of like one of the foundational sauces in French cuisine. And there's like all sorts of variations. So it's like if you start with an infusion with like vinegar and shallots and tarragon, and you make béarnaise, so which is delicious. I love béarnaise sauce. Okay, but Hollandaise is kind of like a very all-purpose butter sauce. So we make it over heat. So I am going to get my saucepan over low heat initially. Basically, you are whipping the yolks with a little bit of water and making this like very frothy, moussey mixture and cooking it. Like you're basically cooking the yolks as you're constantly agitating them. So it really stabilizes them. I'm gonna start with my water. And I have 3 tablespoons of water here. I'm only gonna start with 1 tablespoon, but I have extra water here in case I actually need to thin the texture of the eggs a little bit. So starting with a tablespoon of water and my 3 yolks. Now I'm working on an induction cooktop where I have extreme temperature control. If I were on a gas stove on a burner, I will be in a double boiler. Basically it goes opaque. It lightens in color and goes opaque and of course really, really thick. They're already cooked, guys. That did not take long. So this is what that sabayon looks like when it's done. So I'm gonna get this back over low heat. Now we are going to whisk in our butter. And like making mayonnaise, this is like a slow trickle. So by going slowly, you are ensuring that you're making this emulsion between the fat and the yolks. And if you go too fast, you risk overwhelming the yolks and then you're gonna have a broken Hollandaise sauce. Another really important consideration with Hollandaise is that it's not getting too hot, because if it gets too hot, it will also cause the mixture to break if the butter gets too hot, and the eggs. So it's similar to making mayonnaise in that like you can constantly adjust the texture by adding a little bit of water if you need to. So I've added all the butter. We have our Hollandaise. I think it's a little bit thick, but I'm not gonna use water. I'm gonna now add lemon juice because I'm gonna season it. So maybe about, I like it pretty lemony, so maybe about a tablespoon. I'm gonna season it with some salt, some pepper, and a dash of cayenne. Oh my gosh, delicious. So good. So I'm gonna get this, you see that consistency? Beautiful. It's like moussey and thick, but still fluid. Beautiful, beautiful color. And because there is the possibility of a skin forming, I'm gonna cover it with plastic directly on the surface. Now I'm gonna get some warm water in here. Okay. I'm gonna keep my heat on warm. This is gonna go inside, and this is gonna hang out here while I assemble everything else for the Eggs Benedict. So I just used the fork tines to like fork into them all the way around and then pulled them apart and dry toasted them in the toaster oven. If you don't want an English muffin, I think a really nice touch is like rounds of white bread that are toasted. So I'm gonna assemble. Let's do some asparagus on the plate, and I'll do 1 ham. I don't have Canadian bacon. This is like this is an Iberian ham, and then 1 smoked salmon. So I'm gonna grab my Hollandaise. I'm gonna use the same warm water to warm up my eggs. Basically room temp now, but I wanna just heat them up a little bit, and I'm just gonna do 2 for now. And then whenever you're dealing with poached eggs that you're holding, you wanna dry them off really well because they just get watery. And I also just have some chives that I sliced for finishing. All right, so let's let's look at the Hollandaise. I'm gonna do one more taste and just check for the texture. It's set up a little bit, but it looks really, really good. It's so moussey. That's the texture that I want. Like it's so rich. It's made of egg yolks and butter, but I just want it to have that like super light consistency. Now a little salt. And I think it needs like a drop of water. Okay, let's take the eggs out and dry them off. So eggs go on top, then a nice coating of Hollandaise. Plus a little bit on the asparagus. Some chives over top. Maybe a little extra pepper, a little sprinkle salt, and that's it. That is our Eggs Benedict. Let's give it a taste. I want to just make sure that this stays warm. That looks really nice. I mean, even for me, it could be a little more done, frankly. But I might be in the minority of people. Yeah, like if you're ordering poached eggs, you might be someone that, by definition, wants it kind of runny. Somehow like eggs, English muffin, ham, butter, when you combine it in this way, it feels so fancy. So I really hope you give it a try. Great brunch for Mother's Day or any special occasion, truly. And also Hollandaise, like cool technique. One of the mother sauces, a great thing to try out if you're like interested in technique and like a little bit of a kitchen project. So I want to thank Vital Farms for sponsoring this episode. It was a very egg-focused recipe. And when my chickens aren't producing enough eggs, Vital Farms is the one I always pick out at the grocery store. Partly because I love the traceability. So if you go to the link below, you can learn more about their entire traceability initiative. I hope you check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.